Let us continue our discussion on the semantic parsing, which is also known as semantic role labeling (SRL). So, in the previous classes, we have seen what is semantic representation, what are the requirements of semantic representation. So, in those requirements, the first requirement, we have seen 5 requirements, and out of that, the first one was word sense disambiguation. As we have been seeing from the previous lectures, one of the major challenge for natural language processing is ambiguity. Every language has words with different meaning, same word with different meaning. So the parsing of those words will cause ambiguity. So the challenge before us is how do we disambiguate? How do we resolve that ambiguity is a major challenge. So this problem where we resolve the meaning of a word when that word has multiple meanings is known as word sense disambiguation. This ambiguity occurs because of three uh, we can three reasons. There are words which share same spelling, same pronunciation, but they have completely unrelated meaning. Those type of words are homonyms, and that phenomena is known as homonymy. For example, you have bank. Bank may be referring to financial institution. Bank may also refer as the river bank. Similarly, bat, that may refer to cricket bat. Similarly, bat may refer to a bird. Similarly, nail may represent the fingernails, and the nail may represent the uh, sharp iron tool, which we'll use to fasten the things on the wall or to fix the things on the wall. So we can give lot number of examples for homonym. Now there is a slight variation here. There is another phenomena called polysemy. Here, same spelling, same word, different meaning, but those meanings are related to each other. In the homonymy, bank as a financial institution has nothing to do with bank as a river bank. But if you see this example here, this is the largest circulated paper. That means here I am referring to a newspaper. He published his paper in a journal. Here I am referring to a technical paper. So this is these both are papers only, and they are referring to physical paper, but contextually the meaning is different. Sometimes we hear the government has released a white paper on liquor policy or a white paper on the GST. That is also a paper, but the meaning is different. This is known as polysemy. And thirdly, there is another ambiguity called categorical ambiguity. When the words with same spelling will belong to different parts of speech. For example, I say, I want you to book a ticket to Delhi. When I say that book, there that book was a verb. This book is very costly. When I say that, book is a physical object, a noun. Similarly, I can, in the previous chapters, we have seen one example, the cat with 9 lives will live longer. Lives is a noun there, live is a verb. So these three are different phenomena. Because of that, ambiguity occurs. And if you see here, categorical ambiguity can be resolved by using the parts of speech information, while homonymy and polysemy, they require deeper semantic understanding, deeper semantic parsing. Now let us go further. How we can resolve the word ambiguity? How we can resolve the correct meaning of a given word where it has multiple meanings? So there are different methods. Rule-based method, knowledge-based method, learning-based methods. In the earlier days, this word sense disambiguation problems were relying on dictionary. Look at the dictionary, look at the meaning, from there decide the correct sense or correct meaning. But now we have machine learning methods. When we talk about machine learning, three categories: unsupervised learning, when we don't have the labeled data. In the natural language processing, when we say labeled data, we are talking about human annotated data. That if the data is not there, we use unsupervised method. There we will be using clustering, and we can uh, suggest the word to a particular cluster. Then supervised methods, where we have the human annotated training data, and based on that we can assign the word sense of a particular word. When we combine these two, we know that it is semi-supervised method. When we talk about supervised learning, there is a trade-off: fine-grained sense distinction, coarse-grained sense distinction. Fine-grained means we want to differentiate between even subtle nuance has to be accounted for. We don't want even a smallest error. But when we do that, the human annotations, there will be greater disagreement. So if you use coarser, that means you can allow some error, then there will be more agreement between the human annotators. So there is a trade-off in supervised methods. So word disambiguation, word sense disambiguation is a very, very important and a very, very prominent problem in natural language processing. But still, when we compare the word sense disambiguation problem in other language processing areas, for example, information retrieval systems, speech recognition, their word sense disambiguation is very, very simple and readily available and cheaper. But in NLP, that is not the case. Maybe that there are two reasons we can put forth: because there is no manually annotated corpora. There are not many corpus where we have manually annotated data for training supervised models. And there is also absence of standard criteria to annotate or to do this word sense disambiguation. So another set of reasons were put forth by Resnick and Yarsky. They identified that the slow progress of word sense disambiguation can be accounted because of, number one, lack of standardized evaluation benchmarks. Then there are no standard, that's what we have seen. Secondly, you require more resources if you want to incorporate the knowledge in NLP. And thirdly, there is a difficulty in obtaining huge sense annotated or human annotated data sets. So these are the hindrances to word sense disambiguation. To counter these hindrances, the linguist scientists, what they have done is they conducted yearly competitions. If you know, In computer vision, every year they conduct ImageNet Visual Recognition Challenge. Similarly, in the NLP, in 1998 onward, they conducted a competition called Sense Evaluation. So there is an evaluation workshop and competitions for word sense disambiguation, where the people with the linguistic scientists will be given task of this word sense disambiguation and task of developing corpora, task of developing lexical databases for word sense disambiguation. So from these sensible competitions, the word sense disambiguation problem has been progressing. And in 2007 onwards, apart from word sense disambiguation, they focused on other tasks also, like sentiment analysis, textual similarity. So they changed the name from SenseEval to SemEval, semantic evaluation, from the year 2000. Remember, these two are the competitions. Earlier, the competition was called SenseEval. Now the competition is called SemEval. So these are the competitions where worldwide NLP engineers or NLP scientists will come together, and they will be given some set of tasks, and they will be solving that, and they will be contributing to this progress of this subject. So SummerEval attracts research worldwide and has significantly contributed to the NLP advancements by providing benchmark datasets and evaluation methodologies. So these two competition, in fact, one competition earlier it was called SenseEval, now it is called SemEval. It is providing resources for the not only for word sense disambiguation, for also for semantic parsing or semantic role labeling. So how do we, suppose we have done already word sense disambiguation, how do we measure? So there are two measures here. One is most frequent sense baseline, which will be lower bound. What is the, in the given corpora, what is the frequent sense, more occurring sense? That is the lower bound performance. Another key evaluation metric is inter-annotator agreement. How many human annotators agreed for that particular sense? This occurs as an upper bound because human agreement levels are more better than the most frequent sense. Now let us study this word sense disambiguation from the three aspects. Firstly, we will see resources available for word sense disambiguation. Then secondly, we will see what are the different types of systems we will be using for word sense disambiguation. Then thirdly, we will see what are the different softwares that are available for word sense disambiguation. Throughout this subject, we'll be doing these three: resources, systems, and software. For now, we are doing analysis of word sense disambiguation. Later, in the later classes, we'll be doing the same three aspects for meaning representation. Then later, in the same chapter, we'll be studying resources, systems, and software for predicate argument structure. So let us dive into the topic of resources for word sense disambiguation. The first resource that we are going to see is known as WordNet. WordNet. So remember, this word will be coming again and again in our discussion. WordNet is a lexical database where different words are grouped into synsets. Each synset will represent a distinct sense of a word. Then we have sense annotated corpora, where we have annotation of the sense. The examples are SemCor, on-to notes, SenseEval datasets. Then we have multilingual resources. The examples are BabelNet, EuroWordNet. So these are the different resources. Then we will be seeing the systems Four categories: knowledge-based system, or you know that the name is again rule-based system. So there we'll be studying Lesk algorithm, then followed by Yaroski algorithm, and one more algorithm there, which will be depending on semantic similarity measurement between the different senses. Then we'll be seeing supervisor systems, where systems will be using machine learning training on sense annotated corpora. Then unsupervised systems, where the words are clustered into groups without any requirement of label or annotation data. Then fourthly, combination of these, which are known as hybrid systems, and systems which will depend on neural networks. So there are different softwares: Babel 5, IMS, UKB, SenseRelate, NLTK. In the lab at present, you know that you are using NLTK in all the 10 experiments that you have been doing. So you are already using this software, and if I am not wrong, you have already done a program on word sense disambiguation. Then we have modern NLP models, ChatGPT based on GPT, Generative Transformer, and BERT, which is developed by Google Bidirectional Encoder. And these are all the softwares used for word sense disambiguation. For example, in ChatGPT, I tell what is a bank. Now the question comes, which type of bank I am talking about? So the ChatGPT has to decide, resolve the ambiguity. So let us see the resources first. The resources for word sense disambiguation. Word sense disambiguation.